What's up, good people? It is the Oracle of Elohim. I believe it is Friday. I believe the 21st of March. I think it is. But nevertheless, I am grateful for today. I hope that everyone who finds this video are all doing well. The Holy Spirit in me just has some things on my mind, on my heart, There's a lot going on in the social media platform, People wanting to spin other people's narratives, wanting to take their words and use them as their own, possess envy, jealousy, envy, wanting to possess something as your own when it is not, whether it be words, tangible things, time, space. See, I only want what's rightfully mine. Now, some say you can't go in the courts and say that someone is paying practitioners abroad to do all kind of Santeria, voodoo, or just dark magic, period. I know the courts don't want to hear that, but as we know it, English grammar is all spell work. When I sign my name to a contract, I have consented to be in contract with you. As I speak on my video, I am speaking either truth, but I am speaking truth. I'm speaking my truth. I'm speaking what is currently going on in my life that I want to speak to the universe to banish, rid me of. There's a lot of people that think that they know what's best for me. I am, according to my birth date, well over 50, right? And I'm in my sound and right mind to make decisions for self, right? So on November of 2022, there was a decision that I made while living with a narc, pathological, lying, thieving, one who likes to fabricate things to fit their narrative to make it look like you are something that you are not. This particular person, but it's a lot of people. It's more than two. It's actually more than three. It's more than 10, really, that are trying to spin a narrative of what they want for my life because of their decisions to commit fraud. Now, my beautiful ancestors who loved me, who worked hard to gift me something, well, while I was still possibly even in the womb, or yet a youngster, unable to make decisions, probably barely forming words, something was decided for me. something was egregiously, abruptly stolen from me. You know how the Bible verse say, the enemy comes in like a flood, to steal, kill, and destroy, right? That's what this enemy did to me as a child, as a little one, looking for the adult to instill in me wholesome, nurturing things, right? But that didn't happen in my childhood. That's not happening now. These same individuals, along with others who have affluence and influence in a community or a city or state, have conspired, have tried to bend my will, have tried to confuse me with my manipulating practices by trying to keep me in a stagnated position, not allowing me to get social media platforms such as PayPal, Venmo, to try to help me out with donations of a caring person that would want to help or contribute to me succeeding while I wait, while I do believe there is an active investigation going on, because surely if you can place my name on the FBI watch list, but yet I've never been arrested, yet I see law enforcement, they follow me. I see a lot of individuals following me. Well, law enforcement, you are to bring justice, right? So the people who put my name on that FBI watch list, what have you found out? What do you know? Are you able to make an arrest? I didn't think so, because I'm not a criminal. You have nothing on me, but yet you sit up here and you listen to another. You know, it's a sad day in America still. Like I say, history is supposed to be a teacher, right? But some like to use it to manipulate. Now, say for instance, Rodney King, and I know the Bible say walk by faith, not by sight. We all seen what happened to Rodney King. There was a whole video. How would you hit somebody with a black stick and expect them to keep still, but you keep pouncing? And then you go to the judicial system, right, for justice. But then, you know, a riot broke out. I'm not advocating a riot, because why would you tear down your community? That doesn't make any sense to me. Just, you know, how you rush to the voting polls to vote people in office who make decisions for a whole community, state, city, of people by making laws that conflict your better interests or your well-being for you, your family, your descendants after you leave this earth. You know, those Bill of Rights that we all need to really, instead of trying to be jealous and afflict pain on an individual, you need to be looking at the amendments that are in place, the Bill of Rights that contradict a whole lot of things, that when you vote to put certain people in office and then they do things that you're not fond of, and then you want to go out here and picket. Well, bump the picketing. You need to look at the Bill of Rights, right? That needs to be relooked at. It needs to be adjusted, because as the earth evolves, so should laws evolve. You know, like when somebody unfortunately loses their life, then they want to put a law in place. Well, based on my case where people are trying to put me in an invisible jail, because that's what this is when you won't allow me to be able to afford to fix things on my car, to afford proper food to keep my body aligned with with who I am and what I need for my body to stay healthy. Or you cause stressors when you don't do the right thing in your judicial system based upon the laws. I mean, I haven't seen a law based on, dark magic, because, some of you, as we know, as I'm doing now, I'm speaking my truth. And, speaking, spelling, spell, work. So I'm speaking my truth, right? I'm not sure if the president is seeing this. I know he's passing a lot of bills, signing a lot of documents in place and things of that nature. I'm not sure if President Biden and Kamala Harris knew about my case before they exited the office. I'm not sure what congressman, senator, or politician is aware of my case. But what I know and what I perceive, beta, alpha, beta, these sorority groups, right? We have seen and we known cases due to history. In order to get in some of these sorority groups, there have been hazing where some have lost their life. What kind of foolery is that to get into a society, a secret society, who host seances by speaking it, believing it, because I believe that you are doing me wrong. I am a child of the Most High. I am protected, and I will get what's rightfully mine. My ancestors, I give full range to deliver a blow to your scheme, your plot, your plan against me, to get rid of me, to continue to steal from me, to keep my things from me. I give them full range to do what they need to do, because their blood, sweat, and tears to be able to give me something for someone to go and remove my name, try to remove my existence by holding me back, by not allowing me to use PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, because you have put some type of flag on my Social Security to not allow me to even seek employment because someone has stolen my identity. Like I said, I made a conscious decision on November 22, 2022, to contact a certain Department of Justice. Because at that time I was like, okay, I need some help. I need some help outside of my city, because it has to be city officials that are conspiring also with these people to be able to clone my phone, get documents signed, approved, activated for an enemy to come up against my will, my person, me, right? So then I say to self, it has to be other people who know about this. Why is this continuing to happen? Why are we going through all these phases of cycles of moon magic instead of someone doing their fiduciary duties as a judicial law enforcer, law maker? Why is it that the family dynamic that has tried to unalive me on several occasions, even now, because, like I said, they did something to my car that can cause an incident or an accident, but by the grace and mercy of the Most High, who sees and knows my situation that I was placed in forcibly, not by my own doing. You forced me, socially engineered this thing for me to be entrapped in this particular city where people, not all, but enough, more than two is enough, right? Because in the court system, if 2 or 3 come into the court system and say that this person did that, then the court is going to believe them. No questions asked. That's what happened to me. When I'm a whole person living, trying to live, not knowing that somebody behind my back is filing fraudulent documents saying that I'm this or that, but yet law enforcement has not come to me about any of this. Have not asked me any questions about the accusations, the false accusations, may I add, about who I am. Yet I'm being followed every day. People taking pictures, people in my, I have cameras, for God's sake, in my car. This phone is cloned, which is like a mirror. My enemies see me constantly. I have no privacy. Like, I'm a star, but an unpaid star. Something needs to give. If my enemy is so powerful, why are you trying to obstruct my social media platforms? I revisited my social media platforms because I had forgotten about them. I thought they were, actually taken off. I had one called Bella 1212. And I'm still, a year later, I'm still talking about the same thing. Because more than 5 people are lying to the court system, but yet I'm still here. I have become, ill where I've had to go to the, doctor. I've had blood drawn from me. The lies they told that I have sexual STDs, lie. That I am on drugs, lie. Did you find that in my bloodstream, FBI? Did you? Because I know every time I go anywhere, you're right there. You want to know, what did I ask? What did I want? What am I doing here? Why did I come here? I know, right? So, when is the end game? When is it? I want my things. Someone stole something from me. They stole my identity. They stole my possessions. And as I know it, a thief, a theft, stealing is a crime. Impersonating anyone is a crime. Your secret society have a saying, slow burn, where you try to orchestrate, socially engineer me losing things, keeping things from me. I rebuke you in the holy name of Yeshua, and may my ancestors have full range to avenge me of your insidious hate that you want me to be slow burn because of things that you have done in secret. And like I said, if you see there's another one, Pretty Bouquet 1010, that I forgot, and those were my earlier platforms. Pretty Bouquet was formerly known as Real Life 1010, right? But I changed the name of it, and that's when I was angry. So I was using a lot of choice words against my abusers and my false accusers, like that ex-husband of mine. I don't know who you started a family with, and don't give a care about that. That's your business. That's your right to do that. You left me in 2008. I came to my right mind in 2014 and filed for a divorce. Paid $3,000 to file for a divorce, right? Use my income that I had while I was still working and living with a narc that you and my family sent to me to try to infect me with HIV. And then on top of that, that same narc possibly injected me with something so that I can fall into a deep sleep so you can put a Neuralink in me to try to keep tabs on my life, not your life, my life. So it's a new form of enslavement with this AI and this modern technology that you're trying to say. People, put a chip in your hand. You can talk through your finger. You can make a phone call through your finger. What else are they doing to your body? If they put a Neuralink in me so they can watch my every move. What type of society are we living in? Yet, we're running to the polls to vote. In my mind, that's like vetoing my rights. Excuse me. My tea is a little bit strong. It has some type of potency in it. But anyway, I don't veto my rights. That's why I stopped voting. Right? In my opinion, when we go to apply for a job, we fill out an application, right? That's a contract. The employer interviews you and others. They come to a conclusion on whom they want to put in that position. And why can't we do that with these politicians? Why are we vetoing our rights? Because like I say, the Bill of Rights start out with some things, and then it goes into other clauses that counter one another. Hypocrisy. But yet we rush to the polls, and then when we don't get what we want, we're angered, and then we want to picket. What is that doing exactly? And then the Supreme Court Justice. I don't know if that's a good idea for you to have a position for life. Because has your views changed? Are you one way? I mean, to sit in a position for life, I don't think that's good. Like the world evolved, I think you should have an end game. Because that's where, people can become complacent, be bribed, be biased. Because you sat there so long, you have constituents or co-workers or co-partners in the same platform that you have some type of appreciation for or with, and then when you sit up there and you make laws or you pass laws or you judge another by the law that you yourself have passed against unsuspecting people, because we're not really familiar with your legalese, your terminologies. That's why you have in place, speak to a person in layman terms so they can understand or interpret your law correctly. And you notice when there's an amendment, they tell you the parts that you understand, but then there's some other backhanded thing that contradicts what they have said to you openly. Hypocrisy. So when I contacted DOJ, I didn't know that, okay, that Madam Ashley Moody, the Attorney General, is the one that oversees things. So now Madam Ashley Moody is now a senator. And before that, I contacted, when something I believed happened to my son, which I'm not sure if it happened to him, knowing that my family is involved with insurance fraud. In some of my videos, I said, this pandemic thing that has not quite gotten us back in a healthy state universally. The infrastructure is still a little bit faulty, because there are still things being done behind the scene that people aren't paying attention to because you're too busy running to the poll instead of looking at the whole person, looking at things that are before your very eyes. Just like I said, if I remember correctly, why the riot started with Rodney King is because those individuals wasn't found guilty, or something went on with that judgment when our eyes was not playing tricks on us, because you can still pull that up on YouTube and see that he was being beaten. He did get compensated, but for God's sake, Castillo pops in my head. The young man where his girlfriend, she was driving the car, they got pulled over. This particular officer asks, is there any firearms? We see that on the video, right? And so Castillo answered and he said, I'm licensed, and let me get it for you. And then the officer just pulls out his gun point blank up at his window and shoots him, killing him. History. Right? So I'm around here innocent while people are trying to paint pictures of me that are false, while I'm reaching out to our law officials, our judicial system for help. Can I find it? Or is it your terminology with your secret society you want me to slow burn out here? Like I said, before change of office, before Trump. So now Trump, I'm sure you are aware of my situation. And if you're not, I find that hard to believe. But anyway, because some of your people that you put in position, like Madam Pam Bondi, she most certainly is familiar with my situation. Because before Madam Ashley Moody, you were state attorney, and I reached out to you about this organized criminal gang stalking, about the injustice that I thought was done to a child of mine. Right now, I'm complacent about what truly went on because, as I said in another video, when I was doing candlelight vigils, my mother, who's able to walk, she's able to go to church, she never attended. As a matter of fact, these individuals were trying to encourage me to forget about a child that I thought or am thinking was murdered. Someone put his body somewhere for me not to be able to properly bury him or find out what truly happened to him, because it was all possibly an illusion, a scam to commit insurance fraud that they involved my 18-year-old son in, who's still trying to find himself, who was trying to become a rapper, and perhaps maybe he thought, how they say the Illuminati, you have to sacrifice something. I don't know, did they put that in my son's head that now you disappear, but yet we're going to sacrifice your mother, me? Because like I said, my 3 children possibly have turned against me due to this family dynamic and their mind manipulation over them, because I didn't know that the mother figure practiced divination, voodoo, possibly Santeria, because she does have a Cuban background, right? I don't know how she was raised up. I don't know what she went through as a child. But she tried to affect my livelihood, even still today, by lying, by committing fraud on documents, by trying to steal what's mine, and then have the audacity to try to feed analytic videos to me that may spike an interest to me, to send people who cloak themselves as love and light, but yet trying to confuse me by saying, tell the universe what you want, no, God say don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, right? But yet you all want to be on my phone, you want to have cameras in my car, you want to have people following me because you want to know what I'm doing. But yet the Bible clearly say don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So now my life has been very public, and God bless, her spirit just popped into mine. The beautiful Princess Diana. I thought she had a beautiful aura, a beautiful spirit. But yet the paparazzi wouldn't leave her alone. I wonder, did her family? I believe they did. They were stalking her because she didn't want all that prestige or to be, involved in their ideology of what they think is, I'm prince, I'm queen, I'm this, I'm that. She just wanted to be free. She was a free-spirited, but yet she's no longer here. And I thought she was a beautiful person, inside and out. Now, what I don't know and what she may have done in secret, I don't know. But just by me seeing her and seeing her wanting her shalom, her peace, She possibly had an ex like mine who don't want to see me have peace because they're not in peace. And may you continue to not be in peace for stealing from me and then trying to plan a whole family off my name, off my ancestors' riches that they had my name on. And yet, the judicial system that we have to put faith in, see what is going on. Enough is enough. When is the end game of this foolishness? I don't like for another person to take my life and make a game out of it. Make me their fictitious movie piece where they continue to try to triumph over me because they have the resources and they're keeping me from resources. They're socially engineering me into a position that I ought not be in because my name was on the documentation of my ancestors' assets. The truth will always be. The truth will always be. I thank the Most High that what you want for me will not happen. And I'm asking my ancestors that what you want for me, that they will give it to you. Because you are whole liars, trying to ruin, stifle my life. And, to my lineage, if you have done anything against me, shame on you. But as the Bible say, once you become 13 and you know the truth, or you have been told the truth about right and wrong, you are now held accountable for your actions. I didn't teach you how to be thieves because I'm not a thief. I didn't teach you to commit fraud, to become scam artists, because I'm not that. Now, Madam Pam Bondi is over DOJ again. So, we're now face to face again. Madam Pam Bondi, can I get your assistance with this situation? Will you do what your predecessor would not do? Or should I say, I don't know, were you confused when I contacted you back in, 2011, possibly 2008, 2009? Because this incident that I was thinking happened to my child happened in 2007. So somewhere along them lines, I contacted the State Attorney General, which you were the active State Attorney General, Madam Pam Bondi, right? What is your fiduciary duties to me in your position? All I want is the truth. I want my truth. I want my things. I want to know what happened. If something did happen to my child, I want to know what happened to him. You gave me a presumptive death certificate so that the life insurance policy that I did have on him, that the one on my job, was not paid out correctly, because when I left with police escort from my last lover who tried to infect me with HIV, he stole my briefcase. He stole some documentation. He stole my pay stubs out of it that showed that I had what I paid for in life insurance for my family. And then the supervisor, Jocelyn Scott, right? You all were trying to be my handler, or specifically you were trying to be my handler on my 15-and-a-half-year job. You stole my accidental monies from the policy that I had on the child that I thought was murdered. But again, I'm not sure if he was murdered. I believe you all know, though. That's why y'all had me on this little goose chase. And then they had Risha Plummer. I didn't know her, but somehow while I'm fighting for my life, mind you, I'm going through chemo and radiation because I was told I had breast cancer. And then this is in 2007. And then I get word that something happened to your child. And then this husband of mine, back then, the ex-husband, right, acting like he loves me, love our family. And mind you, my 3 children wasn't his, but he married me knowing that they exist because they were teenagers, you know. So you came, it is my belief, you came to me again because I was dating someone else living in Alabama for a little bit, right? And that didn't work out, so I moved back with my Section 8 karmic reader tarot. And I moved back to Florida after, moving with a guy friend that I was dating in Alabama for a little bit. And then I reconnected back with the ex-husband, and that's how we got remarried, right? And so they devised this scheme to try to break me mentally. Remember I said I'm going through chemo and radiation, learning that a child of mine possibly murdered, injured somewhere. Someone may have kidnapped him because I never found his body. I haven't seen this child since he visited me in the hospital from becoming sick with chemo. But this is all their scheme to try to break me down, to finish what they started with the dark and black magic, to try to do me in by emotionally trying to break me down. But I still had an inner strength due to the Most High and His love for me, and Him and the All-Seer knowing what you all were scheming, but I was unaware. So again, let's continue. This ex-husband comes back. We get remarried. We're married at the time this happened to my son. He also had us as a family covered on life insurance, and I, on my job, had us covered. I know on his policy because he allowed me to oversee the finances. And so that was also a scheme to that too. He so with me doing the insurance, the policies, although it was his employer, but he said that's your child, so you put the life insurance in, your name, my name, right? The monies, if there were incident, were to be paid out to me, although we're married, so it's ours. That's my thought, but mostly everything was in my name, so it had to be someone at his job that redid paperwork, because mind you, I'm fighting for my life during breast cancer, and then I'm learning of a child missing, and while I'm doing all of this, trying to find my child and go through chemo, they're redoing paperwork behind the scenes. Because in 2008, right? November 19th, 2007. This is when this happened to my son, right? And I think we were married the second time, 2004, I think. I don't remember, because he has become that irrelevant to me. And I don't have my documentations based on that illegal eviction that they did to me to try to collect all my paperwork, all my medical documentations, to try to put somebody in my place, use my name, use my truth as their own. That's their whole scheme. That's why I'm living in my car. And so, again, President Trump, politicians, representatives, senators, our Bill of Rights, my Bill of Rights, your amendments, that my rights are being taken from me. And all of you know about it. Because you have people who were there first who knew about it. Madam Pam Bondi, Madam Ashley Moody, you knew about my situation because I contacted your office. And from me contacting Pam Bondi when this happened to my son, I stated to you that I do not feel like the local law enforcement were treating me justly by keeping me in the loop of things about what their investigation is finding, or if they're even doing an investigation. That part. So her office had the audacity to send back my email and state to me I needed to go back to the very ones that I am complaining about, to her office. So basically, she was saying there's nothing that she can do for me. Hypocrisy. Was that right, Madam Pam Bondi? President Trump, these leaders that you have put in place, are you aware of this situation? Then, while I became a caretaker for my brother, the same brother that lied to the FBI about me, that I have some type of mental incapacity. they were feeding my phone different things. So something came across my phone, this in fact group. I don't know if you all are aware, Vicky Dillard, and sending all this stuff to my phone. So it must be mean something to me, perhaps. But I was unaware. And while I'm going through all this harassment, I'm thinking, okay, great, because I'm thinking about the Black Panther movement, their initial movement, how they were very good for the community in which they live, and their fight for their community to stay whole and wholesome, I thought was good. So when I seen this in fact group, I was like, I was watching the videos, and their charismatic person that they had in charge, I don't know if his name was John Johnson, something Johnson, right? Yeah, this was all being fed to my phone. Ahmadiyya Shakur videos were being fed to my phone. These are all people on YouTube. So I don't know what you have to do with my case, with this theft, with this programming. I don't know if you have anything to do with it, but all I know is that these particular videos were being fed to my phone while people were trying to stab me in the back and put my name on the FBI watch list. But yet I'm in the room or at the house trying to care for my brother that I thought I was doing, a good job. I'm not a CNA. I'm not a nurse. Just a natural instance. I mean, I have 3 children. If someone needs help within my spectrum of what I know to do and what I don't know to do is pick up the phone, call 911. That's what EMT, the ambulance in the hospital is for, right? Exactly. So you have common sense to do those type of things, but yet these people want to make like I don't have common sense. Again, Madam Pam Bondi, who is over DOJ, again, we meet again, right? What are you doing about my case? Are you still telling me to go to my local law enforcement? What are you doing? Are we still pretending that you don't know that there is something going on, or are you a part of it? President Trump, because this John Johnson was at one of your rallies. Do you know him? I'm just saying. See, all these subliminals. Are all you people in bed together? We're going to make sure that Jennifer Peak, that's my name, that I know myself as. We're going to make sure that she doesn't exist, and we're going to put somebody else in her spot. That is a part of our clique, and that is down for our shenanigan, BS, hypocrisy, criminalistic behaviors that should be considered for RICO crimes if the judicial system remove those parties who are a part of my demise. Because my family, they cannot do this by themselves. Nobody family can. You have to have someone in leadership to pull off what is being pulled off. May the Most High dispatch the Holy Spirit to expose, dispose, and delete the plans of any enemy that is attacking me, that will inevitably attack others or are attacking others. if they're not stopped. This is by far occult groups, covens, rituals, cliques, gangs, but yet you want to come down on the mafia, the Crips, the Bloods. Those are the only gangs that I know, but I know there's more. There's motorcycle gangs, there's Mexican gangs, I don't know all of you, but yet these particular people want to come down on you, or maybe they are a part of you because they utilize you for some reason or another. All of it is the same when you're doing wrong, period. When you're trying to put your foot on the neck as that subliminal, unfortunately, which is not a subliminal, it really did happen. And I hope his beautiful daughter who said, "My father is going to change the world." May you rest in power, George Floyd. That was very, I don't know. I mean, for another officer to see your counterpart having his knee on someone's neck, but you cannot like push him off and say, "Hey, snap out of it, man. You're about to kill him," instead of taking him to the justice system where he can have court and be tried for the crimes that you have your knee on his neck about, like what you're trying to do to me. Where's my judicial process? I mean, for God's sake, you have my name on an FBI watch list. What can you do? What have you done? What are you trying to do? You're trying to position me in something that I ought not be in. Madam Pam Bondi, you are over DOJ, correct? So you are familiar with my case. Again. President Trump, are you familiar with my case? Will you pay attention to what's going on? Is there an injustice? I mean, you were signing off laws. Oh, the poor not downtrodden anybody's situation, because I have my own. But I don't care about what color you see my skin as being. I'm a human being. And you are infringing upon my human civil rights when you do not bring me justice, when you know there is an injustice going on. So anyway, I digress. However, I stand on every word that I have said because history, as I said, rumors, Emmett Till, Black Wall Street destroyed based on rumors. Or should we say a perpetual hate and envy of someone wanting to possess another's possessions.